hey there, are you one of so many that feel down or depressed or feel like you got nothing left or feel like you can't take one more step? You feel unloved or you feel rejected or you feel that everything in life feels like it's just crumbling beneath you. And I might have started this video on like a really negative note, but you know what? Sometimes it's real life. It's what we face. It's what we deal with as normal people living in a world that has stuff happen. And it's normal for us to face these hardships because Jesus says it in John. He says, hey, take heart. There's going to be trials in this world, but take heart because I've already overcome it. And you know what? There's a story in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 23 through 33 that really encouraged me to no end, because I'm going through a season of my life where actually the other day I went into my God time and I was like, God, I need help. My life sucks right now. I feel like crap and I'm just dealing with all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And then he led me to this chapter, and this is what I read. Paul is talking about all the things that he went through as he was serving Christ, and this is what it says. It says, Paul went through being put in prison often. He was whipped 3 times without number. He faced death repeatedly. He had 39 lashes 5 times. He was beaten with rods 3 times. He was stoned once. He was shipwrecked 3 times. He was adrift at sea 1 day and night. He traveled long journeys. He faced dangers from rivers and robbers and Jews and Gentiles. He faced dangers in the city, in the deserts, and on the seas. He faced dangers from men who claimed to be believers but were not. He had many sleepless nights. He was hungry and thirsty and often went without food. He shivered in the cold without enough clothing to keep him warm. And he was always daily burden of concern for all the churches. And I felt like after I read that, Paul slapped me in the face and was like, hey, did you get stoned today? No. Sorry. Stoned like rocks. I was like, no. Hey, did you get whipped today? No. Hey, did you shiver in the cold because you didn't have a coat? No. Were you adrift at sea? Were you facing death? Were you in prison? And I was like, no. And that really encouraged me to change my perspective, because so many times we think our life is just horrible, or we have it so horrible, or everything happens to us and it's so bad. But you know what? It could be true. Everything in your life you feel like is really, really bad right now. But you know what? The only way to make a negative situation positive is to add positive, to be optimistic, and to have a perspective of God in your life. Because God says this in Romans. He says that, hey, I work for the good of those who love me. And so even if we have a bad situation, we got to keep our perspective knowing that God can work it for good. Our bad can actually give God glory. You know, in Philippians, which is a couple books after the 2 Corinthians stuff that I was just reading, Paul even says this. He's like, hey, dear brothers and sisters, I count everything that has happened to me as good because it furthered the good news. And I love that, because Paul always had the right perspective when it came to whatever he dealt with. He knew that God could use it for his glory. So whatever you're facing today, think about how you're responding to it. Is it being a good example to others of what Jesus, how he would respond to it? Are we being Christ-like because we're Christians? I'm just here to encourage you today. If you are one of those who feel depressed or lonely, or you feel like no one loves you, I'm here to tell you that you have a Father who loves you dearly, so much that he sent his Son to die for you so that you could be free. Because like I said at the beginning, in John 16 it says, hey, there will be trials in this world. But Jesus says, take heart, I have overcome the world. Take heart, have faith, knowing that Jesus is already overcome, and fight your battle, so you know that you already have the victory. It's just in your mind that you have to keep telling yourself that my Jesus has already won this battle for me. So if you don't feel loved, know that you're loved. If you feel brokenhearted, know that Jesus says he's come and he comes and he's near to the brokenhearted. If you feel alone, know that you're never alone, because he says he'll never leave you nor forsake you. He was pursuing you even when you ran. So if you're pursuing him, he's still right there. Whatever you're facing, get in your Bible, look up some scriptures that deal with what you're facing. and know that I'm here. If you ever want to message me, I'll definitely try to message you. I'm not very quick at it, so please forgive me in advance, but I want to be there. I want to help anybody who needs help, because I feel like God has given us all a gift to encourage each other in the walk of faith. So let's do that today. Encourage yourself, encourage others, and stay positive. Remain in faith, and know that we don't have it as bad as Paul did, and that encouraged me, so I hope it's encouraging you as well. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day and a Merry Christmas if I don't see you before then. See ya!